Hi there, it's Leszek here. Thank you for watching Fitness Soul podcast. Today I will chat with Veronika Divincova about water. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Really good to have you here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. So we'll talk today about water, isn't it?
Yes, that's what I believe.
That's why we've got the bottle full of water. We'll drink a lot of this water and we'll chat. Tell me, why water? Why you decided to devote your last couple of years just for researching on the water? Why?
It all started for me when I was looking for a career change, or I used to work in the finance industry, and that wasn't very satisfying. So then I moved here to Edinburgh, and for me back then, I was a regular 9-to-5 average person who would not look after themselves very much, and who would go out and on a Friday night and have a few drinks, go out on Saturday night, and so on. So that was sort of my lifestyle. And then I came here and I started to explore. I went to a few health events and just started to be more interested about health. And I came across electrolyzed water specifically, and I was drinking it, and that was the thing that sparkled my interest because of the different uses that you which maybe we'll touch on later, but different uses, how you can use water. And I thought, wow, that's amazing, because my belief used to be water's just water. That's what I suppose a lot of people think, right?
You got water in the tap, and this is it, and you're using this for drinking and boiling and making tea.
Yeah.
And this is it.
So H2O would be the very, water is H2O, and that's all about it, and there's no big science behind it. However,
yes,
as you start exploring things, you go down the rabbit hole, and that's what I did, and I was finding all sorts of different amazing things about water, and so that's why I'm here.
That's fantastic. It's kind of, because when you look at this, and you've got around 60% of you is water, isn't it, of every human being?
It's actually more. It's more actually on a molecular level, it's over 99%.
99%.
So if you break it down.
Okay, yes. So it's basically we're made of water.
Yes, absolutely.
And then we talk a lot about how many proteins I should have every day. And we don't necessarily talk how much, and then we're talking about the quality as well. So it's everyone knows it's proteins from, I don't know, burger in McDonald's is different than protein from peas, for example. The same must be with water, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So I always thought that the water in the tap here, it's quite alright. It tastes good for me. To compare the water from my tap in Poland, I remember 10 years ago drinking the tap water in Poland, and after coming here, this water tastes completely different, and I thought this is good water.
Yeah, I would agree. It's good water. There's nothing wrong with it in terms of the country provides a good quality water, which is important. And I have heard a couple of representatives from the Scottish Water saying, our water is the best.
Yeah.
So I can't say it's a bad water. However, what you do get, as you try different waters and find the right one that's for you, then you'll start developing more taste buds, and you will notice the difference in the taste. And another thing is the chlorination. That might be something that we just think this is the way I suppose it has to be just for now, to manage the amount that needs to be refiltered and put back into the system. However, chlorine itself is an oxidant, which means, and I always use the example of an apple. When you cut an apple in half, you leave it on the table, it will go brown or it'll rust, basically. Yeah. So that's what chlorine does. And although you might have a small number of chlorine or amount of chlorine in the water, it's still an oxidant. It will still do to you what oxygen would do to the apple, if it makes sense.
So it's just making you older, basically.
Yes, and these days I suppose there's a lot of talk about oxidation and inflammation in terms of health. So that would be the link to a more of a holistic perspective to health.
So let's say, so what's better? So it's better to drink water from the tap, or it's better to drink water, I don't know, boiled water, and then you make it cooler. What is it? Or you better go to the shop and buy the bottle.
That's a good question. You wouldn't necessarily get rid of the chlorine, I suppose, if you boil the water.
Okay.
But it really depends on the people. It depends on their preferences. Some people will choose to use a filtration system, which would be my preference. Any filtration system that will get rid of the extra impurities. I'm not a fan of bottled water just because of the whole lot of plastic waste.
Yeah,
and sometimes you can't avoid it. You have to go, if you're traveling or you don't have the opportunity to take your own water with you, then sometimes you will have to buy it. But we sometimes take things for granted, or I'll just drink it and I'll throw it away, and I don't think about how maybe having a good filtration system in your home would help you actually reduce the expenses. That would be much more environmental friendly.
Oh yeah, because every single time you buy the water in the bottle, it's you spending money.
Yeah.
But secondly, you're putting a lot of plastic around, and it's like we still don't know what to do with this plastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's.
You get whole islands in the ocean, and the birds. I don't know if you've seen the videos of.
No, I never.
Birds will eat. Because they will see floating something around, so they think that it's food. So you're killing the birds as well, because they'll eat it, but they can't digest it because it's plastic.
Oh, yeah.
So
we cannot do it yet.
So
we cannot digest it. Yeah.
So when a bird eats a piece of plastic, then they'll die eventually.
Yeah.
So it's much more. I mean, yeah, it's much more complex.
Okay, so coming back to so you said it's 99% of us is water, and there's a lot of.
I didn't come up with it, by the way.
Okay,
it was a researcher.
There was a researcher,
yeah.
But normally I've got this scales there. It's like 10 liter scales, and basically if you stand on the scale, it shows you that at this moment your water is like, it shows you everything. It shows you your body fat, masses, blah blah blah, but you've got water percentage kind of roughly. And then what we notice that more healthy you are, you've got more water in you. So if I stand now, I will have like 63-4% according to this. If someone very unhealthy would come here, it would be like 52 or something. So it's from my.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's. I'm not sure how much accurate this thing is, but it just shows you how you can, when you're getting healthier, how the water comes up, and then obviously this water comes from the drinking and from eating. So we're trying to get the best water for these people, isn't it? We're giving them best exercise, we're giving them best food, so hopefully we can get them best water. Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's a part of a lifestyle, isn't it? Anytime I talk about water and the water quality, it's never just drink good water and then do nothing and go to McDonald's or somewhere, but there's always a holistic approach, and people sometimes forget it. They might think I'm just going to exercise and not eat good food. The effect's not going to be the same as you're exercising, eating good food, drinking good water, and sleeping well, and so on. So it's sort of a common sense, but the definition of common sense doesn't mean that it's the common sense for everyone.
There's something you said about taking water with you, and it's like, it's kind of, I can understand it because I take with me food. So if I go somewhere, I take food, but I never thought about taking water. So it was something like I can get water anywhere, but obviously looking this way, I can take food anywhere, but I don't do it.
Well, it depends if it's just, even if you're using tap water, if you want to avoid again buying a plastic bottle on the way. I feel a little bit, maybe it's judgmental, but I feel it's a bit lazy.
It is
unnecessarily of people to do that. But recently I kind of started thinking about when people buy coffee cups and they buy coffee, and every time they go they get a coffee cup. How many coffee cups a day? How much waste then you would produce then, instead of taking your own coffee cup, which is reusable. And you get these days, and just refilling it, and you actually get a discount as well.
Okay, and the coffee tastes better from glass, isn't it? And from something like that than from the cup. I hate those cups. But I keep using them. I never thought about that.
I suppose it's the same thing with bottled water. And it's not to say that bottled water is bad. I mean, there's the issue of plastic and the chemicals that might be leaching in it if it's exposed to the sun, if it's sitting somewhere. Some people say it's dead water because it doesn't have any movement.
Okay.
Whereas if you have water that's moving, or just even if you go, let's say, if you have a choice to choose water from a mountain spring and a bottle of water that's been sitting somewhere for, I don't know, months, then what would you go for? It's a no-brainer,
It's
right?
a no-brainer, yeah.
So it's the same thing with the energy that water carries, I suppose. It's a bit simplistic, but it just makes sense to me that now I just forgot the original question.
There's no question. There's no question here.
It's just comparing different types of water. I'm not a big fan of saying this is really bad for you, this is really good for you. People have different tastes, different preferences, and different experiences.
Yeah.
So that should be respected, I suppose.
I think this is another part of the puzzle, isn't it? It's just you adding your exercise, you adding your diet, you adding.
That was the.
Yeah, and this is another thing. So you can get it.
Yeah.
So I take, like, for me, I eat clean. And I exercise quite a lot. I stopped drinking recently. It's 2 months now. I cannot believe that.
Very good.
So, but I drink water.
Used to, drink? You mean alcohol?
Yeah.
Did you used to drink a lot?
Not a lot, but it's just okay. Like probably less than people in the pubs. But no, I have wine every so often. Yeah. But now I stop it, and I feel much better. So let's say I start drink water, which is the best quality water. Will I feel any benefits? And how long it's gonna take? It's so important for me. I always trying to find, why I would do something. I do squats with the barbell because I know my legs will be stronger and my cycle will be better. So I start drinking better water. What will happen?
It depends what kind of water.
Let's imagine the best water. We will get back to it, yeah. But because I know you've got the thing which makes the best water ever. I need to find out about this more. But let's say this is the best water ever you can imagine. Would I feel it? Would my body feel it?
So let me give you an example. If you eat healthy and if you exercise and then you go to a pub and have, I don't know, something very heavy and unhealthy, how are you going to feel? I will feel quite bad. You'd feel bad. So that is a similar thing, I suppose. If you get used to drinking a cleaner, better water, then that's just from my experience. If I don't drink that water for a while, then I feel the difference actually in how I feel. It's not so energized, not so clear, not so sort of ding ding like that. But with any let's call it better water, you will feel a certain difference. And another aspect of it is when someone stops drinking alcohol or fizzy drinks and just go for water, just switch, they're going to feel the difference as well, right? Just from that. And then another aspect is the placebo effect, which is the power of the mind, right? So if I actually tell myself also that this water is better for me, it'll probably will have an effect on me. Which is good thing. I mean, it's a power of the mind. It's massive, and it's not to be overlooked. It's not just a placebo effect. So all these different aspects, I suppose, would come into play apart from the quality of the water itself. Okay. So let's focus on the quality of the water. So I said about this, the best water ever. How you would describe it? What you would say about in, I don't know, a few sentences? What? Ideally, I suppose when we look at nature, the best water for us would be, or the best place to live would be somewhere where we are close to the mountains, that we can just go and get our fresh water, which is full of minerals and it's full of life, basically. I can imagine that. And it's cleansed through the ground. So that's the ideal. I suppose that for me would be, if I had the option, that for me would be the most perfect solution. I can see this small hut in the middle of the mountains. I love that. And Mark would love that too. He'd be like, let's just move somewhere out of the civilization. Yeah, but we cannot get it here, isn't it? We get stuck in Edinburgh, in city. Doesn't matter. It's just in the city, and
Yeah. So what's our options?
And you have other options. I mean, you have a very good filtration systems. I'm not a big fan of reverse osmosis as such, just because it strips everything off. It's good for removing all impurities.
Okay.
However, it doesn't give you the additional minerals. So if there is a system that will put the minerals back in, that's better than just having reverse osmosis.
Okay.
And some people use it also as a pre-filtration to other water treatments, let's say. And in terms of what I've had a very good experience with and what I use is electrolyzed water. And
how does it work?
Electro will say, well, it's a generator, it's a machine that produces water through interaction, or you basically put power, electricity into the water, and through titanium platinum covered plates which are in the machine, the water will get electrically charged, and then what happens is you will get a water that in terms of the drinking water, you'll get water that's rich in minerals. It's slightly alkaline, but it's rich in antioxidants as well.
Okay. Will this kill all the bacteria and stuff in the water?
That's not the... You will have a filter in the machine as well.
Okay.
But you can do more things about water. But in terms of the drinking water, the main thing about it is the antioxidant potential.
Okay.
And going back to where it originated from, or what the correlation, like when I was talking with the natural springs, there are actually places around the world, in Japan and Mexico, and one of the most famous one is Germany. It's Nordenau. It's called Nordenau water or phenomenon. And what they found, there are these caves, and they found that in the caves, people would go and drink the water from the caves, but they would also breathe the air in the caves. And they found that after spending a week around and going into the cave, they would be getting better.
Okay.
So there was some tests done, especially with diabetic people, and what they found that there was an antioxidant present through the mineral reaction from the ground, and that's something that's called molecular hydrogen.
Okay.
And we know about vitamin A, vitamin C, coenzyme Q10, and all these other antioxidants, but hydrogen, or molecular hydrogen, or hydrogen gas, as you find in scientific literature, is something that's getting much more attention in the recent years because of its therapeutic potential.
Okay, yeah.
So that's the correlation. So what they found is that people were getting better because of that. And there are certain ways of how you can replicate the same effect through treating water. One of which is the electrolysis.
Okay. Is there any other ways of doing it? Or?
You can diffuse like bubbles in the water. I'm not sure if there is mostly it was done in the more of a laboratory settings.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if there is actually a technology that makes it as yet, but there might be in the future potentially. Or you can get it through, there are these hydrogen tablets that you can get as well, that you put in water. I haven't done much research into it, but they're supposed to be, again, there will be quality difference, I suppose, but they're supposed to be effective. And in Japan, what they do in terms of, that's not water related, but you can also breathe it in. You can also breathe hydrogen in. So,
really?
So a picture of someone just sitting in there was this machine next to him. They just had this mask on. They were breathing in hydrogen.
Wow. And it's got the same effect. Yeah?
Yes.
So I think if you drink this water every day, it will have massive impact on me. I will feel it all the time. Yeah.
You will. Yeah.
So you said some research is about, it helps, I don't know, you said diabetes, this is one thing which it helps. Is it everyone asking for about cure of cancer? Would it help it?
You have to be very careful when you talk about cure because there's no such thing. And especially, I mean, there might be, but especially from legal perspective, it can be very misused, and you'll see it online maybe, and not just related to water, but we found this cure, and so you have to be very careful. So I wouldn't say it cures, it doesn't cure. But again, going back to the original question and what it can help with reducing the inflammation in your cells in the body.
Okay.
and as an effect of reduction of the inflammation, which is present in, according to the current research, in all over like 90% of different diseases. From cancer, if someone's going through chemotherapy, there's a huge exposure to toxic sort of or radiotherapy, radiation. It creates a lot of stress on the body. Or people with chronic diseases, or for example, I don't know, any degenerative diseases or arthritis, osteoporosis. There's always, because the body can't fight the inflammation, there's always a lot of stress on the body.
Yeah.
And so inflammation and chronic disease as linked to oxidative stress, or like the apple going brown, goes brown quicker. So going back to answer your question, it helps with the reduction of inflammation in the body. And as a result of that, people might get better.
Okay, so do you think, is there any chance that, for example, City of Edinburgh Council decided to get one of these machines, obviously on the bigger scale, and just serve this water for us? Why are they not doing it?
I haven't spoken to anyone over there yet.
Okay,
I suppose.
Because I can see the huge potential in it.
There would have to be a technology if you would want to have it distributed among the masses. There would have to be, the technology would have to be available to actually go through, I don't know, be installed in every house, or before it actually goes to the tap somehow, which would be, I suppose, difficult. Because another aspect of the hydrogen, sometimes we call it hydrogen-rich water, is that it will not last you forever. So it's produced, but because hydrogen is a gas, it will have a sort of a lifespan of 48 hours.
So you can put it to the bottle like that.
Yeah,
and
you can.
It will hold for 48 hours.
Yeah, it will reduce eventually.
Want some more?
Yes, please. It will reduce eventually. And go into a neutral state.
I'm gonna have some. Okay. So what you done to this water? What was the what you, I don't know, you put some charm on it or something, or?
It went through the electrolytic water generator. So it went through a filter first, and then it was electrically charged, and you sort of attach it to your tap and go straight through, and then it comes out. And
so it's quite simple.
You drink it.
So it's a simple process, isn't it? Yeah. Can you have this at home? Installed
at
home?
Yeah, you can have it at home. Yeah, and people do. There's another machine that works slightly differently. Again, with a different mineral composition inside that acts as a filter as well.
Okay.
So there are different options out there. It depends what you're looking for, also what your financial situation is, and what you want to use it for.
Okay. Is it, if I want to take it today home, can I just do it on my own, or I need to get someone to install it for me? How fast I can start using it?
You can install it fairly quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how long it will
10
last?
10 minutes maybe.
How long it will last? Like I mean, is it for if I get this and it's like for whole life, or I have to change something and every so often, or?
You would have to change a filter in there on a regular basis.
Okay.
But the technology itself, if it's a good quality technology, then well, the one that I'm using personally has a life expectancy of 20-25 years.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, and then in terms of cost effective, it's, let's say, how much it would cost me the bottle like that?
Oh, it really depends. How much water you're using, I suppose.
Okay.
I've done some numbers, and it goes down to pennies, literally.
Okay, so it's much cheaper than getting
over
the
time.
Over the time.
Over time, and plus, and again, it depends what technology you go for. The one I'm using personally makes also other types of water. And which is very interesting, because I thought.
Oh yeah, you've been saying this before, that you can use water for cleaning, isn't it?
Yeah, so you can use it for cleaning, disinfection. So you press a button on the machine, and then it goes, the pH level goes down, but the oxidation potential, so that means the potential to make the apple go browner, and also to kill bacteria and fungi and spores, and that really rises.
So what's the pH of this water?
This one is 9.5.
9.5. So it's quite. Is it alkalic? Is it
alkaline?
Alkaline, yes. So it's quite alkaline. And then for the cleaning, you would make it less.
Yeah, that'd be 2.5.
2.5.
So very, very low acidity, but very high potential to oxidize. So it kills things like E. coli, MRSA, Salmonella. So anything. I mean, you can use it for bathrooms. You can use it for any surfaces, or even for it's safe for the skin. So they actually use it in hospitals for gangrene treatment, or as I said, MRSA, which is a bacteria eats your skin and muscle, and you can die from it. So it's used on different levels.
So basically, you don't have to buy Domestos.
No.
Ever.
No.
So you've got just the water and you're cleaning the water. That's cool. So you're using this all the time now.
Yes.
From cleaning the water, when you clean your vegetables, for example, you're still using the same water. And
there is another setting as well for that on the machine, which makes water which is even much more alkaline than the water that you're drinking, and that actually emulsifies oil. And so again, it's a very effective degreaser, and I also use it for skin, or you're not using makeup, I suppose, then for removing you don't need that.
Not yet.
But for removing grease, or even removing makeup, I suppose, for the ladies.
Okay. Oh yeah, I think it's interesting.
And it's also used as a part of skin condition treatment. So anyone who might suffer from eczema or psoriasis or any skin conditions, acne, that might be very, very helpful for them. So again, and now you might understand why I think water, and you go back to the original statement, water is just water, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
You've got so many uses of it, and I kind of like this aspect of using the water as a cleaning agent, because every single time I take the bottle, we're using quite a lot of chemicals for the cleaning the floor, and always the smell and the feel of on your fingers. It's strange. It can't be good for you, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's not simple.
It's that simple, yeah.
Simple, but especially when you're breathing it, when you breathe the different chemicals and you expose your skin to it, your skin is absorbing a lot. So that's what is not good for you.
Yeah. So this is something to look at.
And even if you have an opportunity to choose from something like EcoVer or something more degradable, let's say, than the standard products that you'd get, that's a step forward to a more I suppose a conscious way of doing things, or more eco-friendly.
And what's cleaner can be than clean water, isn't it? It's you're taking the water, you're using this water, you clean something, you put it back to the system, and at some point you can use the same water again to some extent.
It's interesting because that's what they were using. The disinfectant water, they were actually using it in the first. It originated in Scotland at the beginning of the 20th century. And then it wasn't taken further because the technology wasn't there. So to produce it would cost a lot of money. But later on, it also was used as some kind of, very simple, I don't know how they made it, but very simple machine or technology was used on the warships in France. So the surgeons were actually disinfecting their equipment and using it for wound disinfection as well. And the way it was produced is through the salt water, through sea water. So what you're adding to these disinfectant water, you add salt into the machine, and therefore you'll get a stronger, more potent solution at the end of it.
I'm thinking like about this water now when you talk this way, a little bit like about the petrol and stuff. It's like, there is a lot of ways we don't have to use like gasoline and stuff. We don't need it, but still there's a lot of push from the governments, from the big factories, telling us no, we have to use it because there is no other ways of doing it. And there is, yeah, and of course
there are other ways.
So the same thing, I can see the way the stuff you're talking now, you kind of a lot of factories and a lot of big businesses which selling again domestos or bottle like Coca-Cola and stuff, they are probably against that quite a lot, isn't it? Have you?
I would imagine so. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Interestingly, what you say about the Coke, you know that you can clean your bathroom with or clean your toilet.
Oh
with
yeah.
Coke.
Yeah.
I mean, that wouldn't be my preference, but
you can, and it works perfectly well. I've tried it, yeah. And I kind of when I was doing that, I remember myself drinking Coke quite a lot when I was younger, and I was just thinking what I was doing to myself. It's just, yeah. If it cleans my, whatever. I don't want to even remember that.
So that's all very interesting. And another aspect of water, I suppose, would be the more, let's say, the spiritual aspect or the memory content aspect as well.
Okay.
Which some people might think is a bit airy-fairy.
Uh-huh.
But actually there's been research done into water carrying memory. And as a gentleman, memory is an information.
Okay.
So water, when you have water in different environments, it will pick up things.
Okay.
It will pick up information.
What kind of information?
On a frequency level.
Okay.
Very different electromagnetic frequencies. But there is a professor, Luc Montagnier, and he's the one who got a Nobel Prize for discovering the HIV virus. But what he's been doing research into the memory of water, and he didn't start it. There were others who started before it, but it's becoming more prevalent in now, sort of popping up in the scientific world, which and it has been refused, and like no, it's just some kind of hocus pocus stuff. But I feel that we'll learn, and there'll be more and more coming through about this aspect of the water as well.
Okay. So you're saying that water can be, yeah. I just trying is the first thing which comes to my mind is like sad water, like being sad. So you're drinking sad water and you're feeling sad after and you don't know why.
It could be.
It's got some bad energy. Pick it up and then let's say the water stays in this bottle in the shelf for 2 months or 3 months, and it's like there's all this stuff with sun, like when the sun reacts with the plastic, it's making it worse, and you're drinking it, and then suddenly you are not as good as you could be having good water. Yeah, so it's something like that, or it's more the.
Let me give you an example. There is actually an organization or a company that works with different researchers, and they you know about drugs and the side effects of drugs. That there might be many of them, but what they've developed. Just imagine. Yeah.
Okay,
you have a glass of water, and you have your phone. You have your headphones.
Okay.
And you have a program on your phone that you can just download. It's sort of like downloading a file.
Yeah.
And that file is a translated electromagnetic frequency information of a drug.
Okay.
So, for example, aspirin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because that has its own signature in terms of frequency. So the signature is translated into a file, which these days you can do. Yeah. And then you'd have your headphones as a conductor. You'd put your headphones around your glass. You press a button, and that information would go into the water. You have water in your glass.
Wow.
That will be translated into the water in the glass, and then you would drink your medicine.
Is it possible right now? Okay.
And there's much more research going into it, but they have started actually looking for people to test on different diseases. But what they found is doing it this way, it doesn't mean that you're going to replace medicine. I mean, in the future, who knows? We have to stay open-minded. But if you're using the medicine and this type of technology with the water, then you can actually improve both together. You can improve the condition more. And sometimes also just by drinking the water you can get some benefits. So
That's-
there's still, I mean, I think it's fascinating because it's
That's
just
complete.
like, what?
Yeah.
What? Or you can record the information on a CD and you can put a, CD underneath your water and just let it sit there for 20 minutes and then you drink your medicine. Can you imagine?
Yeah, and just it's like a movie, but
A bit of sci-fi, right?
yeah, but it's wow, I can see it. So now, like when you get at some point, like maybe in 5 years' time or something, when we get cold, instead of having stupid pills all the time, we'll just drink water, and this will have everything which we need.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
that's fascinating. Yeah.
The future is bright, hopefully.
Okay, so if someone is watching this or listening to it, and someone want to find out more about what you do and how to get the stuff you've got, the how you call it, the electrolyzed water machine, can you call it this way? How people can get in touch with you?
Oh, they can give me a call, or they can send me an email, or
Okay.
they can visit my website.
Do you got the website? What's the
Yes.
website like?
It's www.kangenwateredinburgh.co.uk.
And I will put it under in the notes,
Yeah,
so
sure.
people can. And then someone is trying to phone me all the time, but I refuse to answer this at this moment. Anyway, so they go there, they can see all the information, and that's
And in terms of the research, is the research information is not on the website, but a very good website is www.molecular. I can't even say it. molecularhydrogeninstitute.com.
okay.
That's where all the scientific data is available, and also a lot of myths and a lot of debunking a lot of things that people might, I don't know, come up with because of marketing. Right?
Okay.
So that's important, just to present the right information.
And just to see it. And after all, it's as you said, it's about what you believe in, isn't it? And what's your taste and what you. Someone could told me before that, like, yeah, drinking one glass of wine every day is cool for you, it's good, and it doesn't harm you. But I can see clearly that it make massive effect on me because I've got much more energy now. So the same thing. It's the best way is probably try it, isn't it?
Yeah, and get a direct experience. Always. And if people would like to try it, of course.
How is there any way you can try it? Okay, I having this now, but for someone who is done all researches, went on the website, check everything, and someone want to try it, how they can do it? I know you organize some meetings every so often, isn't it?
Yeah, they can come to a seminar. They can try it there, or we can arrange for them to have a machine for trial.
Okay.
That I do only with people who I actually know in person, and I know a little bit about them.
Yeah.
So it's all possible, and it all depends on the actual arrangement.
And then your meetings are in Edinburgh, or they are around
Meetings are in Edinburgh, Glasgow. I'm going to Jersey next week to have a meeting there. So it's not place specific. And again, if someone would like to arrange one, then they can give me a call, and we can either do it online or I can come through.
Okay.
So travel is not an issue.
That's fantastic. Anyway, Veronika, thank you very much having you here. It was good. I think I learned more about water than ever, to be honest.
Great. Thank you for having me.
And it was good. And I will definitely try it. And I will. Yeah, I've been telling you about this, that I will try it, but now I'm kind of more convinced than before. So especially the cleaning aspects. This is main thing for me at this moment. So yeah, thank you very much again.
Thank you.
See you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye bye.